Today I'm going to show you how to set up a content section on a web page that's hidden, that is displayed through a dialog box when the user clicks on a link that you have included on the page. So to do this, the first thing we need to do is edit our page, and we need to add the content that we want to display through the dialog. So the content can be anything, any type of regular old Ittrium content. I'm going to use an HTML element today, but you could use an enter page or a picture or something like that. And I'm going to create the new content element, and I'm going to go into edit on that element, and I'm just going to paste some content that I have on my clipboard. So I'll let's just paste it here. And the key here, since this is going to be a target of a link, I have to give it an ID. So when we generate the HTML code for this page, it needs to have an ID attribute in the code. And to do that in Ittrium, we need to set a title that starts with a pound sign. So I'm going to say title and target. And this name could be anything. So it could be pound anything. Alright? But I'll use target for now. Okay, the next thing that I have to do is I have to set the width. Alright, so no matter what type of content you're going to display in your dialog box, the content has to have a width. Otherwise, it'll just display in full width of the browser and it won't look like a dialog. So I'm going to set up my width. I've got my content in my dialog, and I'm going to save it. Alright, so this looks good. I can see my content here. Now the next thing I need to do is add an embedded link that's going to point to this content. So I'm going to do it in the same page, and I could do an embedded link, a link on a picture, or a Ittrium web link, but I'm going to start with an embedded link, and then we'll set up the other ones in future videos. So I'm going to create another HTML section that's going to include my link. And the link is just going to be text, so you could have whatever text you would have here, and this is going to be a link to target. Alright, so I'm going to have some text here. And then I have to highlight the text, and I have to set up a link. So this is going to create the anchor tag for me in the page. And the link has to point to the ID that I created earlier. So it's going to be pound target. Okay? And I have to apply that to the link that's in my page. Alright, so this is all wired up, and then I'm going to return to my HTML. And the last thing I have to do here is I have to set a style. And the style that we can set is called auto zoom. Alright, so if you don't see this style on your page, it's just a configuration option that we can easily change. But when the result of this is going to be code that looks like this that's in your page. So I'm going to have an anchor tag with a class attribute of auto zoom, and then I'm going to have an href that points to pound target, which is the ID that will be on the content section that I created earlier. Alright, and it's this auto zoom that causes the JavaScript in the page to follow this anchor through to the target and generate the zoom effect. Alright, so I have that. I'll save my change. And now I've got a link here and I've got content on the page. When I click on it, you'll see that my content is in the zoom box. But the one problem I have here is that this content is still displayed on the page. So the last thing I need to do is hide this content. And this is a new feature in Ittrium, and it's easy enough to do now. You just go to the content element, and then you're going to change its use from inline, which is the default, to hidden. Alright? And then once you have that, you're going to save your change. And now I have a link to my target content that displays as a dialog box. That's it. Simple and easy.